Hello everyone and welcome back to John Bill's Iconic Nudge Moles. Okay, so I'll say hi to everybody that said hello in chat. So I'm glad people have found my stream okay and you've kind of joined me tonight as we complete this Lotus Esprit from Agora Moles. So over the last 6 streams, I've actually built this from stage 1 to right up to 90. I was hoping I was going to get it finished yesterday, but it's kind of run out of time where I got to the stage where we pretty much had to like join all the cockpit and the chassis to the body. Hi Jay, Jay, it's nice to have you back on the stream. I know you said in the comments yesterday that you didn't get notified. Okay, so there's about 10 issues. Once we pretty much put these 3 parts together, then literally it's just finishing off the rudder and the propellers, and then there's like pretty much just the bottom pan, and it should be, hopefully, touch wood, we should be all good to go. Okay, so we'll bring up the mat, because the first thing we need to do is just literally just get this cockpit into the body. So I'll turn him over. I'll get it like that, and then I'll put you on the side camera in a minute. Okay, so if you watched me in the stream a couple of days ago, I wasn't really happy about that circuit board being pressed up right against this dashboard. So a little bit later on I just came back, and all I did, I just took off the frame off of that central section and just left it pretty much just free. It's just hovering, it's not in the way or anything, it fits nice under that dashboard, and it just means that all them wires right on the back edge are not being crushed, because if you see under there as well, there's a where a screw location goes as well. So I took that screw out just so literally none of the wires now, as you can see, are under any tension. Well, thank you Jay, thank you for that. So we were watching Wayne's stream last night, and Debbie was saying, like, obviously we kept noticing Ian giving gift memberships, and I don't know if that's something I can do. Can I give memberships to people? I don't know. I'm not very techy. Debbie was saying, how do you do it? I said, I don't know. But thank you Jay. It means a lot. Okay, so get me up in that top corner. Yeah, exactly, D. There's no real need to put that under any kind of real tension, really, when it just could have been slightly just designed and fitted where I did. Okay, so we've got it on this cutting mat. It's pretty much a cutting mat, part works mat. It should be pretty much fine. Just do a slide this in. So I'll just make sure I move these wires out the side. I'm going to turn him over, and we're going to kind of feed him in like this way. I'm going to feed the bulkhead in first, and then we're just going to feed this down. I know it fits because I tried it last night, to be fair, because I was just having a bit of a play about, and I'll talk about that in a minute. I was having a bit of a play about with the doors. I wasn't happy with some of the fitting of the doors, but that's literally, I mean, we've all built part works. Just how easy is that floor pan dropped into that body. Really nice. Okay, so now we're going to attach it using some DSO2. So there's a DS2, yeah, these come in this pack 90. So get a couple of little fuel cans in this one as well. So I'll get these open. Are you saying yes to the if I can gift membership, because I'm gonna have to look into that. Okay, so get these screws open. DSO2. So like I say, I'm going to go through until it's completed tonight. I've had quite a good day working on the Constitution in any case today, so that's been nice. But I want to, like I said to people, I want to really turn my attention just to working on the Constitution going forward. Well, for the next couple of weeks. Okay, so there's one in there, and there's one in the opposite side. Let's try not. I'll turn this to me so I'm not putting my head in the way. Yeah, I'll have to look into that day. I don't know how I do it. Okay, so you can see that's that floating circuit board just down there. It's not impacting anything. It's not catching on anything. It's absolutely fine. Okay, so I think now we're just gonna. I think we do a little bit of cable sorting. So I think we're just going to separate them into sides that they actually go in. So I want 02 and 04. So I'm just going to have to find these. So that says 02. I'm just going to take that off into this direction. And 04. So this would be a bad time to find you didn't have a cable. So I've just got my actual, I'm watching the stream on my phone as well. Just I want to kind of just see how many adverts it puts on. So that's them two going that way. And then it's pretty much saying just move all the rest over to this side. Just there. It is, yeah, so that's fine. So them two there, they're going to get plugged into these in a minute. Okay, so now we can bring over the chassis assembly. So this is what we worked on pretty much in the first stream and a half. So it's got the engine cover on, but obviously I'll never display it with that. So at the start of the video, just while I was waiting to come stream, there's also just a little correction as well where I literally had to take the batteries out, take the little cable stopper and move all the cables over to that side, because we've got another one of them little like jaw clamps that gets pushed in there, so you have to just make sure that you're clearing all the cables. Okay, so we've got these main, let me just adjust these cables a little bit more. Because that's literally where the main chassis screws onto them two there, so I want to make sure there's no cables getting snagged up. I'll grab this, bring back again. We'll just drop that in. And same again, that actually feels really nice how that's dropped in there. Yeah, that's really good. Hello my friend from Israel, hope you're having a good evening. Okay, so put a bit of grease in. I should have put a bit in a bit before that. And we're going to attach this with two more of these DS02 screws at the front. That's that one in. Make sure I've got it. Better. It's dropped in a little touch better. Just feed that down now. We're just almost bottoming it out, not quite. Okay, so that's them two attached. That's pretty much the chassis and the floor pan added. And then we've got two more around this location. So it's one in each corner, just there, one there, and one there as well. So I'm just making sure it's pushed down. It feels okay. Make sure they're up and not hiding. Okay, so attach that with 2 more of these PSO5s. So it might be a case of me just turning it on its side to actually find these holes. These ones might be a little bit more tricky to line up. So I think that's not quite sat very nice. Let me just have a look at this this engine cover. Let's take that out a second. It might be just rubbing up against the bulkhead. There's a bit of how do we get this up? Let's take that, so a bit of a look. Can't see it rubbing. Yeah, this is just the. It's just you can see it's just sat a bit proud, eh? You see it? So I might need to just feed it back in again. To be fair, so I'll just unscrew these ones that I put in at the start. I might have to kind of slide him in from the side. Hi Daisy, that's my granddaughter. That's Debbie just saying, can you got a request? Can you give Daisy a wave and say hello? Hello, sweetheart. So she's watching me. She's watching the granddad on telly. Bless her. So that one's sat a little bit better now. So I'm going to actually put a couple in this one at the back first, and then put a couple in the front. So my granddaughter, she's nearly 3. She's going to be a big sister very soon, 5 weeks. I think my daughter-in-law, I think she's ready. I think when you've only got 5 weeks to go, I think you get, not that old, but I can imagine it being not a very nice experience when you've only got a few weeks to go. Okay, so that seems a little bit better, and hopefully we can push this front endage now. So, yeah, a little bit tricky, a little bit tighter than I thought. Can't see it's snagging on anything really, but it is a bit tighter than that I thought it would be. It takes one thing to kind of hold everything out of line. This is pretty nice on this back location. Might just need a bit of a press down. Sorry about my head in the way. Just take that's better. See if I can get one in. Definitely doesn't feel right, that. Right, hopefully it's not going to be one of them streams. I'm expecting this to just drop in really nice. Let me just check if anything's riding high. Oh, that's probably what it were. I think that bulkhead had not quite sat down on the back. Yeah, so this bulkhead was just a little bit, there was about a 5mm gap right at this level there where the bulkhead crosses. So now that's been pressed down, hopefully that might make it fit a little bit nicer. Like I say, I'm just saying you only need one thing to be a little bit out of line and it throws everything else off. Okay, so they look like they're going to be lining up okay now. They're sat in them rear cradles. Hi Steve, you okay? Just join me as I'm having a bit of a tricky time putting this on, but I think we've cracked it now. Yeah, that feels like it's actually sat now rather than having to put any pressure on it. So that one's in. So what I'm going to do, I'm going to go to the opposite corner and see if this yeah, I think we're fine now. Yeah, just that bulkhead just set up about 5mm too much. Yeah, it's all good now, Steve. So you can't put a screw on top of a screw. Yeah, I've seen. It's not. It's a bit of a pain now. I've opened it to there. All right, that's that one in. Let me just turn this back over and just try and close. Yeah, that's the only thing. How do we get this open right? I don't really know that. How do you get that open without having to put something under it? I'm just going to push them back down, just keep that shut a minute. Alright, let's make sure there's no screws under my white paint. Okay, so there should be another one in this corner screwed down. Just tighten that all the way up now. That's good. And we can put one in this opposite side of this front end. That's the main ones in, and we should just add a couple into this back section around. Feels like there's a screw in there already, no there's not. Is that one in? That's the first time I've had a steering column poking out that you don't actually do anything with. Just trying to find one more of these DS O2 screws. Must be another one somewhere. One second. It's probably rolled under the cutting mat. Should have some spare ones in there. Yeah, so made good progress on my constitution today, because I'm at quite a good stage where I can. So like while I'm waiting, normally the issue with like the constitution is you're forever waiting, because I build it quite traditional where I use wood glue. So literally you plank aside and you clamp it up and you will leave it. So what I'm doing is I can plank one side, then I can work on the deck, and then by the time I've worked on deck, that other plank's finished, and then I can work on the other side. So yeah, I've been in quite a good system today. Okay, so after that, a little bit of a setback. That's the all the floor pan in the main chassis added. Hi Mark, have you, Mark? Kind of seen somebody say Mark? No, I've just seen D asking him. He'll probably come on at some point, eh? Okay, so let's flick back a bit now. So I've got to that stage where we've added all the screws, and now we can add these little fuel tanks. So I do like these cutting mats, so you can just kind of spin it around. They do work quite nice. Put it back on the side camera. Okay, so we've got two fuel tanks. So your left and the right. So they just both drop on either side of that, and we're going to assemble that with a couple of these little small PSO files. And just a couple of locations. And then to secure it on the other side. And then I think it's just a case of just attaching all the wires. Or we could maybe do that in the next stage, I'm not sure. Okay, so that's both of them fuel tanks in. Yeah, so now connect the wire number 7 to the back of the assembly. So number 7's this one. So no, it's not particularly very interesting watching somebody connect wires, but got to be done. So these are a bit like USBs, and they can only go one way, but you have to try them 6 ways wrong first before you Oh, I didn't know that. Okay, so I'm going to connect. I'm assuming it does connect them all, yeah. Pretty much just connect all the wires. Push them in. The 12 must be for the motors, I think it is, yeah. So we've got 8 and 9, and then another 12 for them for the rudders and the propellers. So let's push them in. That's 2 8s. And then that's a 9. Into this one. And that's that one in. Okay, so yeah, we'll leave the 12s out because that's what's going to add the propellers in a bit. So I'm assuming we're just going to turn it around now and just going to attach all the front ones. So we've got 4 into 4. push that in. A bit tight when you first start. You know your first connection, a little bit tight, but that's not bad. I'm assuming we're just going to tuck these in under the rest of this this body. Okay, so we've got number 13. So all we've got to do is just try and find them all. I'll try and get through this as quick as possible. That's 13. And hopefully they all work. That's 13, so I get 7. Same again, don't give you a lot of room on that. They could have another inch would have been fine. Just to so you're not having to try and pull it too much. There's plenty on the female version that's coming out of the dashboard. Okay, so that's number 7. Try not get them wrapped up amongst each other. I'll just double check for a final connection. And that's that one. So I'll get number 12. That's 12. Number 6. That's that one in. Number 5. That's that one in. Number 14. Number 8. And hopefully the last one, number 12. And number 12. It's like bingo. Okay, so push them, and then there's just these 2 more. This number should be number 3 and number 1. And that's going to go and get plugged in for the front headlights. So I'll put me just plug these 2 in, and I'll put the front camera back on. And that's then plugged in. So I'm assuming then we can just push these down there, because I imagine that these 2 large connector points is where we're going to put this bottom frame on. So I think everything kind of tucked in down there should be fine. Okay, I'll just turn my front camera on. Okay, so that weren't too bad for probably what's going to be probably the hardest part of any build, when you actually literally bring everything together and connect all the cables. No, exactly. That would have been right under there. D would have been really causing, like, because when I noticed them, they were all these cables. Like now they're nice and free. They were like literally. They were under pressure like that. Just zoom in. Yeah, all the pressures were being really snagged like that. So I mean, they'd probably be fine, but you never know. All you need is obviously in a couple of years one to snap, and then you've kind of lost it. So if you can leave them so he's nice and free. But yeah, it's sorted now. Okay, so that's all the wires connected, and that's pretty much, well, pretty much the car almost done. Just got a last few bits to do. Okay, so let's move down. And that is, yeah, that's stage 90. All complete. So I'll just get a quick shake, make sure there weren't any loose screws. That's the worst thing on when you do any like a wooden chip building where you're like previously the way I've been, you've got an enclosed hull and you're trying to put in some little ladders and it drops in, and you're like, so what I do now, you can't get it out. So what I do now is I actually tie a little bit of string to the ladders, and then I kind of leave excess string, so then when I lower in position, if you actually drop under the decks below, you can just kind of pull them back up with string. But yeah, I've got some of my older ships where if you rattle it, you can hear like ladders moving about and cannons moving about. Okay, so now I'm going to move on to stage 91. This is installing the rear valance. Let's push that car just up a little bit. So this is all metal. Just 1 second. Just get my I'm a little bit over foam while I'm working on this this valance. Pretty much I'll just leave the car on that cushion now. Let these parts out as well. That's that. So I'll just get these covers. I think you just say they are actually marked. Let's see if it says, oh, it says right in this corner here, L and R. So facing that way, it tells you to put the right one in. Figure it out which way it goes. I'm going to push them in from inside. One second. The instructions are not that clear on this one. Oh yeah, they just sit just on them two little brackets like that. So this is metal, so we'll actually just add a little bit of grease to start with. So that's not one. And we attach this with a little DSO2. Just screw that one in. So I'm assuming a bit later on we attach that maybe all the way through. And do the same on the opposite side. Tie a little bit of grease again. Let's see a bit of touch on this bit. Bring the camera out a little bit. Get that screw just in there. Okay, so now I'm going to bring across the propeller assembly that we worked on in the in yesterday's stream. Or yesterday? Yeah, well, yesterday. Yeah, yesterday's stream. Losing track of days. So I'm just looking how it lines up. So again, not always the easiest instructions how it shows you. kind of just drops in like that. I said the way the instruction there wasn't that great on that one. Okay, so inside we've got some more little screw locations, and this is where we can now attach that valance in. So it's a couple more of these, these ones, these PS25s. These are a little bit longer. I think we could have done with these actually only when we put the body in. Just a little bit longer so you can kind of grab it a bit easier. So these actually are both metal, so we'll put some grease on all these little holes. Then we should get some screws in. So I've been watching a few more. Been going on like a bit of a James Bond marathon at the minute. So I watched Moonraker earlier. So yeah, I don't know if he's just got a bit older, but I don't know. I don't think they're as good as I can remember now. I'm watching them back. Some of the acting is, especially like the Jaws character. Some of the acting's terrible, but yeah, maybe not aged as well as I thought they had. Okay, so one in every little hole. Okay, so that's the pretty much all the rear valance attached to the rudder and the propellers. Yeah, it's yeah, when I watched it today and I thought to myself, yeah, I really liked this back in the day, but no, I thought it felt a bit cheesy. Even the one-liners seemed a bit cheesy more than normal. I can't remember there being as many cheesy one-liners in this Connery era of James Bond. So I don't know whether it like something that kind of came in is Roger Moore's version, because everybody wanted to make their own little spin on Bond. Whether the one-liners came in a little bit more with Roger Moore. Today is a laser stream. Not sure what you mean. Okay, so now we're going to have to turn this car back over. Get it back. Leave on front camera for a minute while I do the main part. So tapes come open again, but it doesn't matter because we want this kind of get this tailgate up in any case now. So we can actually, yeah, I don't know how we get this up without putting something under it to lift it up like that. It stays up, and I just, yeah. Don't know if I'm missing something. Okay, so in that location now, so we're going to pretty much, where you can see these 4 holes on the back of this Lotus, where we're going to kind of feed this tailgate under. Just move that out of the way, try and get this on there on a good angle for you. So you have to maybe not try and pinch all the wires. So let me just turn it back over a second, and I'll make sure these are all tucked. See if I can bring it in more better from this angle, to be fair, so I don't pinch any wires. flip it over and screw it in. The good thing about this mat is it's actually kind of holding it up in the right position. Yeah, I'm not sure about this. Why we have to get it in that way. Okay, so we're going to get a couple more of these large PS. Or 2 screws in this one. Yeah, I'm going to just, what time is it? 8 o'clock, yeah, I'm just going to work through and to get this finished. So I can't, even though it looks like it's probably going to take me quite a while, there's not really that much left to do. I can't see it going that much longer than 9 o'clock, to be fair. I think once I get this valance in, it's pretty much the floor pan. So that one's in. That one felt nice. Never know what's next. Screw this one down. One in the middle. Well, there's 2 in the middle. And that's them in. So now, a little bit later on, we put these little caps in that just kind of close them little, where we put them screws in, but I'll do that off camera later. Okay, so that's, hopefully we're about there. Turn it, I'm probably going to flip open, not enough tape on it. Could borrow a bit of tape from everywhere. And we'll turn this over and get these motors plugged in into number 12. So like I say, you've got this big floor pan that's kind of going to go over and kind of seal all this in. And I think this is the final cable that needs attaching. So make sure that's under there, because that's where the body's going to attach. That's that there. That one looks a bit tidier. Put a little bit of tape over this. 1 second. Find the end. That one broke off, that one. Let's put a bit of tape over that, because that's kind of where we're going to fill it in. Spin it around. I'm going to do the same on this side. Get them all under there. That one's not so bad. Put a bit of tape on just to hold it. So I just don't want it coming out into this location when we drop the big bottom pan in. Yeah, so just them little screw caps. I'll do that a little bit later on. And that's stage 91 complete. So that's pretty much how the overall look at this Lotus Esprit looks now. Looks nice. I've tested them all already, everything, so it's literally all we've got to do now is just put the batteries in and it's pretty much good to go, I think, mate. Everything individually has been tested, so we know that everything's good. Okay, so now on to stage 92, which is preparing the front right hydroplane fin. That's the last one in stage, I should say pack 11. So yeah, we're right not to carry on yesterday because it took me 47 minutes to finish this pack off. So yeah, it would have probably took me an hour when you're getting a little bit tired. So this is metal, but the actual fin itself plastic, very similar to the rudder that we did. I'll just put you back on put me back in the corner. Get these little screws over, so it's pretty much going to be a rinse and repeat on a lot of these actually, because it's just 4 of the same. So I've got this hydroplane in that location, a bit like we did with the rudder. They like the keyed, so they can like only go and then they stop, so they can turn only a certain distance. I'm just going to attach it using one of these PS 23 screws. Just check that one. Yeah, that feels quite nice. That want it loose, but not where it'll come loose. And that feels okay. That's that one done, and that's stage 92 complete. Yeah, so that's not too bad. That's that pack complete. So literally we've got 7 more stages, and I think it's very similar, just doing the same thing. So we'll move on to pack 12. So yeah, stage 93, pretty much what we just did, fitting the front right hydroplane fin. So get that down here. So bring up some more of these boxes. That's that's almost the last one. And then bring up the large pan. Just put them over there a second. So what we want, 93. Where's that one? Where's 93? I see. So it must have a couple of parts in there. Get this open. Yeah, that's pretty much all metal. That bottom half of the pan. Oh, so I actually like this. So I'm actually just fitting what we've made onto this. So I've got some more of that tissue. I'm going to get it like in that location. Bring across this hydroplane fin. Got these 2 holes there, and that's where that's just going to drop in. Same again, this is metal, so we'll pre-grease it and put some of these little DSL1 screws in. and then put the second one in. And that's that one added. That's pretty much that stage complete. Yeah, so like I said, I don't think it's going to take really that much longer. So there's a little limpet mine to add. Right, I'll just have a little square around some of these screws. Otherwise I'll start getting a bit of mess. If Debbie's watching me, can you just bring me up a cool drink, please? It's a bit warm tonight. Alright, so that's that one. So then we'll move on to stage 94. So that's going to be working on the front left hydrophone plane. So pretty much exactly what we've done. So I'm probably going to build it how I would do if I weren't following the instructions. I'll probably stick that on first and then just hold that on and screw the other one in. More of these DS01 screws. Bit of grease. Steve's giving the looking eyes. That's that one. Put that on there, and we'll attach that on these little flange screws. That's Debbie coming. Thank you.
Okay.
Thank you very much. Not cracking, just pop. I'm almost, well, yeah, I'm almost teetotal at the minute. I used to like a drink. Okay, so we'll get this one in. One second. Just made that hole very good on this one. The hole's not quite round. I'll put you back on side camera. Yeah, I'm same D. I don't really miss it anymore. To be fair, I used to like to drink too much once upon a time. So, yeah, I don't miss it at all. I do it every now and again. I'll have a drink to socialise. But yeah. I used to have years ago. I used to have a massive liquor cabinet with like everything in that I could make every cocktail under the sky. But yeah, now I just barely drink at all. Okay, so that's the pretty much 94 done. So we've got the left and right front hydro fins on. So pretty much going to be just rinse and repeat. So I'll put that over there a second. We'll bring across 95. Clear all this mess of pasta. It's not the drinking; it's the recovery. There's like once upon a time when I was younger, you'd go out for a session and you'd feel alright day after. Now a week later, and I still feel terrible. Yeah, I'm same D. I normally just Pepsi Max. Yeah, I just I can't recover like I used to. Let's get this next screw in. Like I say, I'm not going to it too much because it's just literally rinse and repeat. But they just I've not got that one in on the lock. I've not screwed it in enough. Yeah, exactly, mate. Can't recover like we used to. Yeah, that one's not got a very good stop on this one. Yeah. Unless it's not meant to have one of these ones, I think. Yeah, I just don't think it's very good. Yeah, you don't wake up with a headache with Coke. But then again, saying that, we went out to a wedding years ago, and obviously I was drinking. Yeah, but all the other family members were drinking. Debbie wasn't drinking. Debbie was on J2O. But I think she had that much sugar. I think she felt more drunk the day after than anybody else because of all the. I think she probably had about 15 bottles of not J2O. What's it called? Is it J2O? Yeah, it might be. Yeah, she was more drunk than everybody else. Okay, so that's that one. Yeah, for some reason that it's kind of worn away, that little stop. But like I say, I'm not going to move it that much in any case. So you kind of just hold it into whatever position you want it to be in. Okay, so that's that one. So I'm assuming we're just going to be repeating the same process with the next floor pan. And yeah, fitting the rear. Oh no, we're actually going to fit in the rear under tray and rear right hydrofin. Yeah, so pretty much carry on. I had 12 J12s made me really poorly. Yeah, she was more drunk than anybody. But yeah, drunk on J2O. Okay, so again, pretty much doing the same. So actually now we're going to bring these two parts together. So I'll put you back on the side camera. So get it into that location. Is that right? No, turn that around. Then it worked. Yeah, in fact, can't go out now until you spend a couple £100. So drop that on there, from there, and then we can attach that with 4 DSO ones. I'll just turn this front camera back on. Get these in. I think the last time I had a really good drink with a couple of years back, went to another family wedding, and yeah, you know what it's like when you've had a few and the night gets good, and I can remember going around all the family members saying, "Oh yeah, who wants some baby Guinness? Baby Guinness, baby Guinness." So I ended up going to the bar, and I can't remember how many they were. I think about 20 baby Guinnesses. I know I can remember the round being about £100. Okay, so that's them 4 in. So what surprised me most about baby Guinness as well is I don't think there's any Guinness in it. think it's just because it looks like a Guinness, that's why they call it. Okay, so now I'm going to attach this one onto the back, just there. Yeah, I actually thought there was a little bit of Guinness in it, but no. I think I got the recipe at Christmas and I was like, yeah, that's all I used to really, when I did drink, is that's the last couple of years, that's all I would drink, Dave, just the Guinness, easy on the stomach. Okay, so that's that one in, and that's that stage complete. So that's pretty much done up to 96. But that's weighty as well. So you imagine it's as soon as you start adding this to the car and everything else, yeah, it soon starts to get heavy. Okay, so bring across the last one, which is pretty much the last hydro fin or hydroplane fin. There in a second, I'll work on this last one. Back on the rear. Yeah, so they come with like a little stop just on this fin, and I think the other one it kind of broke off, or it wouldn't form very well, so that's why it wouldn't stop. But that's the only thing with being plastic. One more of these little PS23. And that's quite a good little draw a face on the head. It should stay while the pipe settles. Oh, that's good, D. So I've always wanted to go and have a proper Guinness in Ireland. So I'm going to say an Ireland trip is high on the to-do list, D. Okay, so that one's in. Yeah, so I think with it being plastic, you have to be really careful that you could quite easily wear that little stop away. Yeah. But that one's okay. So I'm just going to attach this to the last bit of the body. Zoom out a touch. Yeah, not the best. Let me move the camera down just a little bit when I put this one in. I can adjust it back again in a second. A couple more of these little DS O1 screws. And that's that stage complete. So that's literally all that complete now. I think literally all we've got to do now is just put a little limpet mine in this bit here, a couple of stands, and then we can pretty much put it all together. Yeah, so stage 98. 99. Yeah, stage 98. Put this over there a second again. project is attaching the limpet mine hatch to the under tray. It's open. So that's literally like your battery compartment. Get the rest of these out. Oh, is that a drink? Okay, so we're going to press the clamp into the clamp holder. So in that location, we'll bring in the touch. So I've got the clamp holder. I'm just going to press the clamp into the body. So I told when you're doing these larger ones, when you have to zoom out to go to work on the larger section, then you have to kind of reposition to work on this smaller section. Okay, so now we're going to bring this back across. I'm going to turn it over, hopefully for the last time. Spin it around. Yes, this is why we had to clear these cables from there, because this is where this little mine catch goes. So 1 second, I'll try and get it into the correct position that they're showing you. Yes, that just drops in there, hopefully. That's it, yeah. Let me just push that down. Then we attach that with a DS O2 screw. Can't really see why we couldn't attach this a lot earlier in the build. Unless it was something they added a little bit later on. Okay, so that's that in. Okay, so now we're going to get the hatch. And we've got a little spring. So kind of in that location, and these springs are going to go over each side of this hatch like that. So bring across. So what I'm bringing across, we're taking back. Bring this back across. So they're going to drop facing up like that. So that's going to drop there. So I'm just going to push it up. So let's grab a box. And these boxes we'll be working on. I'll just lift that in the air a second. Get this bracket. Same again. It's all metal, so a little bit of grease. So it's a nice little touch having this this little limpet mine on, but I can imagine, because it's underneath the model, I can imagine it's something that you never really ever touch, to be fair. putting my fingers under just so I can get some direct pressure on it. No, I've never heard of it, D. It must be a... Even though when I do go to different locations, I do like to try the local drinks. There's one in New Zealand called CD that I really used to like. It's called CD. I think it's Canterbury Draft. Oh, German beer, very famous. No, I've never heard of that. Okay, so that's the limpet mine hatch fitted. And we have got a little, couple of little limpet mines. They look a bit like. I'm trying to think what they remind me of. Although we'll put them in a little bit later on. Okay, so we'll zoom all the way out. Get rid of this box. Get rid of this sponge. And bring this across. So then we're going to attach everything together. Make sure I've got it in the notice that way. Make sure all the cables are tucked. Don't want anything to snag. Everything looks okay. And then pretty much lower these parts in. Maybe you want to go in the front edge first. The same again for the last tricky part that we're going to have to fit. Just going to put that a little bit of grease on these two back locations. Just making sure everything looks like there's nothing trapped. Make sure that that's better. And then not kind of under the wheel arch, you need it kind of on top of the wheel arch. So they're okay. Just this front edge at the minute. One second. Trying to think which is the best edge watch to get in first, the front edge or the back edge. When you get the front edge in, it does push the back edge out a touch. Let's go that now. Okay, so I think that's that side. So we'll sort of check on this side. Prise it in. That's that one in, and I think that's them all in. Yeah. Okay, so we'll start by putting the screws in. So there's quite a few of these. So right at the back two with these DSO ones, so I'll put them in first. Can't remember if I greased them. No, so I was just saying earlier on the stream that the last time I had a few drinks was when I went to a wedding a couple of years ago, but it weren't actually. So when I went to Germany last year for work, obviously we got taken out by our German hosts. So yeah, we had a few good drinks there, and then as the night got better, then we got the snaps out. So yeah, so it was actually a year ago the last time I had a really good drink. But I say, when you're out with you as a guest, you've got to, as Bond said, you've got to keep up the British end. Just turn that onto that cushion a bit more. Screw that down. Costs around £10. I won't be drinking in Israel. Okay, so that's your two DSO-1s in the front, and now we're going to put these DSO-2s in the middle. One second. That one's in. That one's in. Yeah, it's got it now. It won't line up great to start with. And that one. That's that one. Yeah, so yeah, that does actually keep down that little clamp. Well, there should be another one, but oh, it's there. That's where it were. And that's that one in. Okay, so it's dropping his little limpet mines. I just push in there. Place the battery cover on. I'm not going to screw that in yet because I'm going to. Oh, you screw it in where you put your batteries in. tell you to put batteries in. Have I missed that? No. No, I'll tell you to screw that in, but there's no point because I'm going to put the batteries in a second. So I'll leave this off for a minute. Okay, so we're not far off, and that's how it looks. It's weighty, and there's some weight to this. I thought the 1966 Batmobile were quite weighty, but this one's just as just as weighty now. Everything's been added to it. Be really careful that you won't lay it down on the like the fins. They could quite easily like break a fin off if you're not concentrating. Okay, so stage 99 is attaching the display bases. So these are kind of, so it just kind of looks like it's hovering in the water. So yeah, I've only been, I think only been half an hour on this pack. So I think, like I say, most of the time on the stream was literally working on that, pretty much bringing all the body together. Yeah, exactly, Steve. No, it feels quite nice in all metal. Nice again. Let me just remove some of these screws so I don't get a little bit mixed up. For the battery box. Let's have a little tidy up because we're not far off. Get rid of some of these screw bags. We're very close to being finished now. Yeah, so I said a couple of weeks ago I was kind of sick of seeing this, not just 12 boxes. So I thought it was time to get it finished. So I think they're both the same. Yeah, they're both the same. Even though it says 1A, 1B, but they both look the same. Oh no, that one's actually different, to be fair. Yeah, one is smaller, so that's the B. Okay, so I'll put you on the side camera again. So get 99A, so let's check which ones they are again. The A is the bigger one. Yeah, so that's that one. I'm just going to lower it over these locations. No, same again. Oh, these actually are metal, plastic, so we need any grease. And we'll just attach it like that. So there was a collector's edition of this from Go Models, which came with it comes with a really nice display base, which I didn't subscribe to at the time, but I have spoke to them and I think you can actually still order it. I probably will do that at some point. Let's do the back one. Yeah, so it looks like as if it's turning. I don't think there's any sound on this one. Yeah, we've not put any sound card on, so it's literally, I think it's just lights and propellers. But I'll do some like final shots and put it on my Facebook page. Okay, so that's that in, and that's the this stage complete. So I'm not going to turn it over just yet, because what we're going to do, we're actually going to go on to do stage 100, and in good old Blue Peter style. I've already done that. I did that earlier. I was waiting to come on stream. I didn't want to show you because I wasn't sure how long I'd be, to be fair, and I didn't want to show you just building remote. But it's just a case of now just putting in some batteries. So yeah, so it's just 3 AAAs. I did bring across some batteries earlier, I think. Yeah, I've got some double A's. Where's the triple A? Probably triple A somewhere. But we can't see for looking. We did have some. Right. We'll go get some more. Grab some more here. We'll get these in. Yeah, so the last instruction was to cover the put the screws on the battery box, to then in the next issue take the battery box off and unscrew it. So yeah, a little bit silly. Okay, so we'll get these in. 3 AAA. 1 second. And that's them in. Put that in, whichever location it is. Which way does it go? That way. And I'll just put just 1 in. Okay, so let me move all this stuff out of the way. And then we'll turn it over. We'll get this mat moved. So that's it. How cool does that look? It looks really good. Like I say, it looks as if it's kind of floating. So I'll take these tapes off. This way, and then we'll turn everything on and see if it works. So just inside this door, we should have an on-off switch. So I think that now should be on. So okay, so now I'll get the remote up and we'll try things. Okay, so I'm going to get these up, put it on the main one. I don't know how many times that's done that when where I've just flicked onto the front camera and then it's turned itself off. So I may have to just adjust this front camera a minute because it's not on the oh yeah, I'll have to, if I bring it all the way here. Okay, so front and rear lights. So I'll just turn this off. Well, that's not a good start. Make sure I've got these batteries in right. Now, looks like I'll put the batteries both in the same. I'll put them in the same way. 1 second. Oh yeah, can't see. Right, I'm going to go and turn my lights off a second. Okay, so that's changed the look of things. Okay, so I'm going to turn these front lights on. So that's the front lights on. So that's that one. So now two is your brake lights. So that's that one. Put your brake lights on and off. Then we've got the interior lights. Now, so I've got left indicator light, so that's this one. See that one? And then we've got the right one. That's them. So it's all kind of all flashing now. Do that's the rear ones as well. And then we've got the dashboard light. So I'll actually put you on the side camera a second. And hopefully you can see that one. Can you see that? Number 6, dashboard light. Oh yeah. No, if you can see, I might try on this side. It's actually just the, I'll lift it up, it's actually just the little missile indicator. And that's that one working. This door. And then we'll just try the propellers. Propellers. And that's that one. So I'll put you on the front camera again. Oh, it's actually blowing my thing away, didn't it? Can you see them okay? Yeah. That's really good, that. Really happy with this. Oh, there's just one more. And that was, you can see that? It's just the dashboard one. No, it's hard for you to see on that angle, but with just the dashboard. Like I say, I'll take some pictures of this on, and I'll like a little reel, and I'll put it onto my social media. But at least everything's working, so that's a relief. Okay, so I'll just turn the lights back on. Oh, so you got that as well. We've got the little revolving number plate. Yeah. Red. Oh no, nice. Now I think Mark said they'd catch me, but now you can just stop them with your fingers. Good job, good job you did. Well, you would have seen my fingers being grated away. So I'll just get these last couple of bits on. Well, that's just flown off too. 1 second. I'll just turn the propellers off a second. Turn everything off a minute. But yeah, pity it doesn't do the like the James Bond theme. That'd be supposed to be quite good. Just put them missiles in, and obviously one that's ready to fire. And then there's a couple of little bits left. I think there's a torpedo, and then there's this reflector that needs attaching, and then that's pretty much everything done. So I'll just get this little periscope. So that has dropped off there. I weren't sure yesterday when I attached that whether it would be a nice fit. It does feel a little bit loose. That's probably something I will glue on just so we don't lose it in the future. So let's see where that goes. Kind of that way. That just pushes keyways that can only go one way. I'll just go in there. Now we've just got this little mirror to be added just in this little slot, just there. And that's that done. And that's this 1/8 scale Lotus Esprit Vigo models all complete. Yeah, really happy with that. So yeah, so you've watched me build this over the last, I think I've spent, so what, I've been hour and a half, so 13.5 hours it's taken me to build this on live stream. So you've all kind of seen everything that, oh, I've not showed you the engine. So you've kind of seen anything that's kind of went wrong. So that's how the engine looks. So you get like a little engine cover, but no, nobody's ever going to put that over here unless you're always going to leave it on display like that. The hood comes up as well. Yeah, that's awesome. I've only got a couple more things left to do. I've got to put them little covers on the back. I'll probably do that tomorrow. But yeah, overall thoughts of this model, I think it's absolutely it went together really nice. I think there's only a couple of issues I had, is obviously with the little circuit board on the dashboard. I just didn't think it was in the wrong location, and you saw where I put it, just floating, so none of the wires were getting pinched, and that seems to fit just fine. So there was a little issue with the door, but I did address that, and I addressed that off camera last night, because I thought, well, nobody's really maybe not building this, but there was an issue where the doors in this location, it was really flimsy. It was you could wobble it about. So what I did, I went back and took the door off last night before I went and had my tea, and I noticed that when the door was in its open position, it was opening the bracket like that. Oh, thank you, Jay. Yeah, it was opening the bracket wide. So when it was in the open position, the bracket had been forced open. So then the little like bracket arm could move like that. So what I had to do is I took the door back off, and where there was like a bit of flashing on the bracket arm. So I actually just got my little grinding wheel and I sanded that smooth. So now when it's in its open position, it does actually stay like that. It's not really floppy like it were, and it does actually close a lot nicer now. So yeah, I would like to be something on this to get this boot, to get this boot up, because I'm literally having to put something under it to lift it up. But that's not really a major issue. It's just, I mean, over the time you could scratch that. But yeah, and that looks really good. So anyway, thank you all for kind of watching me over these this last week. I really wasn't sure whether to do it, because I'm a military models channel and sometimes it messes the algorithm up. So let's have a look at Edmund Bellamy's on. Oh, yeah. I'm really sorry to read that, Edward. Yeah. Yeah. Well, that means a lot to me, mate. I'm really sorry for your loss, mate. Yeah. Well, like I say, just we do his little bit, just sit here building, and we don't know how it helps other people. So yeah, that means a lot. Thank you, Edward. So yeah, so I will do some more, because I have enjoyed this, and I know I need to kind of give back. Over the last 6 years I've been doing YouTube, you've kind of you guys have given me a lot more than I've given you, and I know that obviously I've got to give back, and that's why I made a big effort at doing this stream. Even though I think that, I mean, every single stream I've ever done for this build, I've lost subscribers, but I've like said to people before, my channel members, 2026 has changed. The way I look at things has changed. I don't really bother anymore if I lose subscriber. All I care about is people like yourselves have enjoyed what I've done, and I'll just carry on doing what I do. Okay, so Sunday I'll be carrying on with the Willys Jeep. So it's not going. There's only about 4 packs, so it's not going to take me a long time to do that. But I have got other builds that I can actually work on. I've got the Apache that I can, once I'm up to date with the Willys Jeep, I can carry on the Sunday stream, just building the Apache as well. And then, like I say, every now and again when I get to a place where I can drop in some USS Constitution builds, I will do. But yeah, I want to carry on these live streams. I enjoy it, and obviously I hope you all enjoy it as well. So anyway, I've been hour and 43 minutes, so it's not too bad. So yeah, in total around about 13.5 hours to build this this beautiful car. And let's say, if anybody wants this, you can get this from Agora Models. I know a lot of people say they're expensive, but yeah, this will now all be with me on display for the rest of my life. And it's just a car that, for me, it brings back childhood memories, and for me, childhood memories is something that I cherish. So yeah. So anyway, Travis Travis has just come on as I've just about to say goodnight to everybody. So yeah, these are like the DeLorean, the Knight Rider, the Lotus Esprit. It's all about that 80s feeling for me. Obviously, that watching the shows with my parents and stuff like that. So yeah, anyway, I'm gonna go before I get too emotional. So anyway, thank you all for watching. You've all been brilliant. I've been John Builds, and I'll see you all on Sunday. Take care, everyone. Good night.